again. Here is the 7 p.m. update on Major Hurricane Beryl. At 5 p.m., the center of Beryl was located at 11.1 degrees north, 56.5 degrees west, and that is just about 358 miles east-southeast of Grenada. The maximum sustained winds remains at 130 miles per hour. Hence, Beryl remains a strong Category 4 hurricane. It is now moving west-northwestward at 18 miles per hour, which is slower than it was at 2 p.m. This is generally not a good sign for us. If it is moving slowly, it has more time to dump water and for catastrophic winds to cause damage. It is now moving at 18 miles per hour. The minimum central pressure remains at 960 millibars, and Hurricane Beryl is expected to cross Grenada as a Category 4 hurricane. We are expecting winds of 130 miles per hour with higher gusts near the eye wall, and it is expected to extend outward about 30 miles from the center of the eye. Grenada is only 21 miles long, and the hurricane force winds are expected to extend 30 miles from the center, so we can feel hurricane force winds throughout the entire state of Grenada. Rainfall 3 to 6 inches across the entire state, with maximum up to 10 inches is possible. Flooding and landslides are also possible, as we have been getting rainfall over the past 24 hours. Storm surge of up to 9 feet above the normal tide level is also expected. Hurricane Beryl again is expected to cross the Tri-Island states as a strong Category 4 hurricane, and with its current area, it is expected to affect the entire island states. Back to you.
Thank you, Cassie. A question from Kellan Bob. How will the regional security system be assisting Grenada, if we have that information at this point?
Thank you. Well, the regional security system is on standby to provide security support if necessary. I indicated earlier today in a press briefing that there were 10 Grenadian police officers who were assigned to the RSS to support the hosting of the ICC T20 cricket tournament throughout the region. The RSS is committed to sending them back to Grenada as quickly as possible. At this time, I don't have the update as to whether they've arrived as yet, because we wanted to ensure that we had as much of our police officers present on island. They're on standby. If it is required, the Commissioner of Police will do what is necessary to activate a response from the RSS, bearing in mind that, as I've said, it is not just Grenada, it is St. Vincent, it is Barbados, it is St. Lucia, all facing this particular storm. So to some extent, we have to be able to assess the individual needs of each island before we can make a determination as to whether or not the RSS should be deployed. Fortunately for us, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana last year joined the RSS. So in addition to Barbados and the OECS, we now have additional support from the Republic of Guyana. I spoke with President Ali earlier this afternoon, and he's pledged Guyana support in the event a deployment of police officers or security personnel are required. For now, however, given that we are not yet feeling the impact of the storm, I suspect we will not be in a position to know whether or not we need the assistance of the RSS until the storm has passed over Grenada and we're in a position to assess the situation.
Thank you, Prime Minister. The second question from Dr. Kellan Bob is, what assistance would SEDEMA be expected to render in the aftermath of the hurricane?
Yes, I'm sure Dr. Walters will take that.
Okay.
All right, thank you. And we had a very lengthy discussion with SEDEMA today, and SEDEMA has pledged that they will provide assistance as it relates to personnel, and then provide coordination assistance based on the relief that is requested by Grenada. So we still have to wait for the impact, then do the assessment and make the particular request. But SEDEMA has placed all their teams on standby, and they have pledged that they will deploy as necessary, and they will coordinate with partners to provide relief supplies as necessary.
Thank you, Dr. Walters. We don't seem to have any more questions from the just one. We have a question online. Please proceed with your question.
Yes, Prime Minister Michael Roberts again, out of New York. I was just wondering, do you have a crisis management team in place, and if so, who are they?
Michael, yes, we're briefing you from the Crisis Management Center, to use your words. So I will have Dr.
Wonderful.
I will have Dr. Terence Walters give you some details about our we don't call it crisis management. I'll let him use the Grenadian terminology.
Okay, got it.
All right. Yes, we do have a team in place, a very able team, a professional team in place to provide information to the general population using all the means that are available at this point. So yes, the team is in place, and the team has been doing a very excellent job throughout the day, beginning last evening and throughout the day today, and they would continue with us throughout the night and into the period that we're impacted. As long as we can broadcast, we will continue to broadcast. So yes, we do have a very professional team in place.
Well, Dr. Walters, I think you should actually indicate that we have a National Emergency Advisory Council, that you have the Emergency Operations Center, etc. The stakeholders were all involved, so that the public and those in the diaspora get a general sense of the preparedness and the wide cross-section of people who are involved.
Thank you. Thank you, Prime Minister. And so in addition to the team that's providing the professional services in terms of broadcast, and so we do have the National Emergency Advisory Council, which met last evening and discussed the situation. We were briefed by the Meteorological Office, and so we made decisions about our emergency operation centers and shelters and other pertinent matters. So we have what is called the National Emergency Operations Center, where all information, all decisions are made here, information coming about what is happening across the country, and we have representatives from several entities. So we have shelter management, health, we have a damage assessment, the Grenada Red Cross, we have utility companies, security services, and a number of senior government officials are at the National Emergency Operations Center providing services, providing support, and ensuring that the country addresses this problem or this issue that we're faced with now, the storm, the hurricane, that we address that in a very comprehensive manner with representatives from several sectors. So yes, that is where we are at this point.
Thank you, Dr. Walters, and thank you for your question, Michael Roberts. If there are no more questions online, we will wrap up at this time, and we await the next update. I am getting an indication that we have another question. Kalistra, you may proceed with your question.
Okay, thank you. My raised hands seem to miss your attention quite frequently these days. Can you tell me what provisions are being made for the Mount Gay Mental Hospital? During Ivan, the prisoners were able to get out because of damage to the prison. What are we doing to deal with that, the possible threat? And so those two areas, please.
I will respond on both. I had at the midday update indicated that all prison officers and all police officers have been asked to return to duty and that all leave has been cancelled. In relation to the police, the Commissioner of Police and his team are working with the Royal Grenada Police Force and in particular the Special Services Unit to provide additional support and additional reinforcements to ensure that the prisoners and the prison officers and by extension the public are safe. We cannot for sure say that the physical infrastructure of the prisons or any building in Grenada will withstand the ravages of a Category 4 hurricane. We will certainly pray and hope that it does, but from a human and a security perspective, the Commissioner of Prisons and the Police Commissioner are working closely to ensure that additional police support is provided at the prisons to make sure that we minimize any risk associated from the passage of the storm in relation to the prison. In relation to Mongay, this afternoon the minister responsible would have indicated that the first measure that has been taken is that patients at the Mongay Hospital who do not need to remain at the hospital have been permitted to be released so that they could be reunited with their families and spend the time under the comfort and support of their families. Those who cannot be released will be housed at the Mongay Hospital and we will continue to provide the necessary services for them. We have backup generators for Mongay, and so should we lose power, we anticipate that the backup generators will kick in to ensure that operations can continue at the Mongay Hospital.
Thank you. Any further questions from anyone online? We'll take them now and then we'll close off and await our next update.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. No more questions online. We want to say special thanks to all of you for joining us. We are committed again to sharing information as it becomes available and as soon as and as often as possible. Hurricane Beryl is a Category 4, so you must take every precautionary measure to stay safe, you and your family. And now is a good time to check in on a neighbor. If you have not seen your neighbor, check in on a neighbor. If you're not seeing somebody in your neighborhood that is physically challenged or an elderly or less fortunate, please check in. We are live from the National Emergency Operations Center at the NADMA headquarters. We await our next update close to 9 o'clock. Thank you, everyone, and have a safe evening.